Before we get started into the how to start your Amazon business tutorial, I just want to reiterate to you guys that I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not going to ask you to join any kind of pyramid scheme. This information is all 100% free. It's everything that I've learned over the past 6 or 7 months as a new Amazon seller. And all the information is like tips and tricks and stuff that I've done that has worked and stuff that I've done that definitely hasn't worked. And I hope that you guys will be able to use this information in some way if you decide to also become an Amazon seller, because it really is life-changing to be your own boss and start your own business. The next part of the video is going to talk about Amazon and why I chose it as a selling platform. But before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about the decision I made to go from working a typical 9-to-5 job to working for myself, owning my own business, and selling on Amazon. So most of you that are here watching this video are friends with me on Facebook and Instagram and know that I have 5 little children under the age of 7. Jack and Leo are 22 months. They are twins, obviously. They'll be 2 in March. Catherine, who we call Kate, she is 4. She's in preschool. Emma and Bella are both in 1st grade. Emma is 6 and Bella is 7. So obviously with the 5 kids, it's difficult to be a working mom. It was difficult when I had 2. It was difficult when I had 1. It was difficult when I had 3. But then when the twins came along, it just threw everything out of whack. So prior to being pregnant with the twins, I was working as a financial controller at a litigation support company. About 14 weeks along with the boys, I stopped working because I was put on bed rest. And then after they were born in March, I stayed home with them for a while and then decided to go just do something out of the house, make a little bit of money, just get out and have some adult interaction. So I got a job as an assistant manager at Carter's, which is the children's clothing store. So I started working at Carter's in July of 2017, and about 2 months prior to that, when Jack was 2.5 months old, he was hospitalized for reactive airway disease, and we figured out not soon after that that Leo also had it. It's like an asthmatic condition. It's likely due to them being preemies, but it was so bad that he had to get hospitalized multiple times for it. The first time when he was 10 weeks old, and then he's been hospitalized probably 10 times at least. We've taken numerous ambulance trips, and it was so bad that when we took a vacation to Florida this past May, he ended up getting hospitalized there, but then he was so bad that we couldn't take the plane home and we had to drive home. So we made a big huge fun trip out of it. We stopped at Myrtle Beach, and we stopped at museums and carnivals and all the fun places along the way. But I think it was really that trip where I realized how much of my children's lives that I was missing. And I think it was during that trip, actually I know it was during that trip, where I realized that I had to do something else. I had to figure out something else. I had to figure out a way to not work 9 to 5 for somebody else. I look back on 2012 when Emma was a baby and early 2013, and I can't even remember her as a baby because I was working so much. I was at the office all the time. I don't remember her being a year old because I was at the office all the time. And that's not fair to me, and that's not fair to her. That's not fair to anybody. And that's why I'm making these videos, because I don't want anyone else to have to sacrifice like I did. And my kids are never going to get those years back with me. I'm never going to get those years back with them. So after I realized this just isn't working, this typical way of working, this typical way of living your life just is not working for us, that's when I started to look into stuff like Amazon. When I started getting into it and finding out how really easy it was, and then when I made my first like $100, and then I made my first $200 and $300, and then when I was making $1,500 a day during the summer, that's when I was like, this is working, I'm not doing anything else. And that's when I kind of went full force into this whole thing. And ever since then, it's been 120,000% worth it, because not only am I making money, but I'm able to have time freedom. So I'll get off my soapbox now and let's learn how to sell on Amazon. This is probably one of the most popular questions that I get asked as an Amazon seller when people find out that I'm selling online and that I'm selling on Amazon. They want to know, one, how, and two, why. And it's hard because there's so many different benefits to selling on Amazon. But one of the biggest ones for me is that Amazon has already set up a customer base for their sellers. So they already have 300 million people that are on their website, that are subscribed to their Prime, and that are shopping with them every day. So that means from the time that you post your first product, you have 300 million people that could potentially see it. Granted, not everybody is going to see your product, and not all 300 million people are going to buy your product, but that's 300 million possibilities every day for your product to be seen and sold, and that's way more than I would be able to get if I just started doing this on my own platform or on my own website or whatever. If I started, if I wanted to sell the school bundles that I buy, if I wanted to do that on my own by myself, you have to create a website, and you have to get a marketing person or do the marketing yourself, and you have to, trademark and copyright, and if you want to start a business, like a legal business, and do it that way, and tax, it's just no one wants to deal with that. So it's so much easier selling on Amazon and already having all of that set up for you, and having a platform and a consumer base where you don't have to go search down people, and you don't have to try to get people to buy your stuff. They're already there to buy. You just have to have a good product. So when I sat down to actually finalize this presentation and video, last night / today / this morning / this afternoon, I decided that I was going to do something a little different than I originally planned. I thought I was going to be able to create one big long overview video of everything about Amazon, but since this video is already 10 minutes long and it's just touching on why Amazon is a good place to sell on, I am going to cut this video off, and I am going to start new videos for each of the different topics that I think are really important to talk about. So like whether you're going to start a seller account for you as an individual, or you're going to start a seller account as a business. There's different topics, as you can see right there in front of you. Finding a product, finding a category that you want to sell in. I'm sure you've heard me reference FBA. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook or Instagram, I'm going to talk about what FBA is and what merchant fulfilled is and what are the pros and cons of both. Just navigating Seller Central, which is the Amazon sellers website, or yeah, I guess you would say website. And then everything from like talking about shipping supplies and Amazon policies and barcode scanners and barcodes, and when you need a barcode on stuff you send to Amazon and when you don't, and when you need a 2D barcode versus when you need a QC code. There are all different kinds of things that I've learned that I want to make sure I pass on to you guys. I don't want to forget anything, and I don't want to leave out any detail. So I am sorry if I overpromised with this long-awaited video being not everything that I originally described, because I originally said I was going to put out a video that was going to have everything that you need to know, but I would rather give you guys all of the information and the right information over a small period of time than try to shove everything into one 30-minute video, because that's not going to happen, honestly, and it's really not going to help you if I try to just shove all this information down your throats. So I'm going to try to get up that video tonight about the basics of signing up to be a seller. If you want to get started, you can go to sellercentral.amazon.com, and if you want to follow the prompts and do it that way, you can. It's pretty simple. If not, then I will put up a quick 5-10 minute video tonight on how to go through it. I'm going to do a screen share, so I'm going to bring it up on my computer, bring up sellercentral.com, and then I'll sign up as if I'm signing up to be a new seller, and then I'll walk you guys through it. And then if you have any questions and stuff, you can ask me on there, and feel free to send me a message or an email. Send me a message on Facebook. I hope this helped you guys start to get an idea about what Amazon selling is like.